Let's go. Cheer!
This is the morning swim show for Tuesday, June 14th, 2011. I'm Jeff Cummings. We're glad to have Elizabeth Beisel back on the show. She just finished her first year at the University of Florida, and now she's gearing up for a return trip to the World Championships, where she'll swim the 400 IM and 200 back. Elizabeth joins us right now in the Finis Monitor from Gainesville, Florida. Elizabeth, how are you doing today? Welcome back.
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing great, thanks. So can you believe it? Your freshman year at Florida is done.
It went by so fast. I still can't believe that I'm now sort of a sophomore and that, classes, I'm in summer school. I finish classes next week. So, I'm completely done being a freshman, but I'm so excited and I'm really looking forward to next year. It'll be a good one.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your freshman year at Florida swimming-wise?
Performance-wise, like in season, definitely a 10. It was one of the best seasons I've ever had, especially for short course since I never really raced that. But NCAA's was a little rough. I would rate that probably like a 7. But, overall, the entire experience that I had with all my teammates and, getting to know all the coaches and stuff, definitely a 10. It was so much fun.
What do you think you could have done better at NCAA's to swim faster?
I think it was a lot of factors, mainly just me being completely nervous. NCAA meet is a completely different type of pressure that I've never really dealt with before. It's a complete team, oriented meet. Everything depends on how you swim, what points you score, how it's just everything is all about the team, and that's so much. It's a different pressure than what I've ever felt before because Team USA is obviously you're doing it for your team, club team, you're doing it for your team, but, NCAA is a very different type of pressure, and, hopefully next year I'll be able to deal with that better than I did this year.
So after going to 2 World Championships, the Olympic trials, and the Olympics, you're now saying that the NCAA's is a more pressure-packed meet?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just the environment and the atmosphere is so much different. And I, ask anybody who's been to that meet that I think they can agree with me on this one that it's so nerve-wracking because you're doing this for not only yourself but something way bigger than that, your team. And it's definitely very, very nerve-wracking.
Well, that's definitely understandable. I could say I agree with you on that perspective. So let's talk about Worlds. As I said, you're swimming the 400 IM and 200 back, and a lot of your competition has already put up some pretty fast times around the world. What's it been like for you to see those times while you've only been able to just do heavy training and not do any kind of taper and put up some fast times?
It's very different than, what my past long course seasons have been like. Normally, when we go to the Grand Prix and stuff, Chuck wouldn't necessarily rest me, but I would be fresh and I would be able to put up pretty fast times that would rank me high in the world so I could sort of compare myself to what everybody else was doing. But now with Coach Troy, he's definitely very old school in the fact that, we're not going to race in racing suits until it's taper time, until it's our championship meet. And I don't know if you saw results from the Charlotte Ultra Swim, but I haven't had a meet that slow in probably 3 or 4 years. So it's definitely a completely different way of looking at the long course season, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do, especially since I know that I have all this really hard training under my belt. And, we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, then, we'll go back to the drawing board and figure out what we can do better for next summer.
So how did you leave Charlotte knowing that, like you said, it's kind of the slowest times you've done in a few years, and yet remember that, or at least make yourself believe that you're still on track to swim fast at Worlds?
It was so hard. Mentally, I was freaking out. I was like, I went 2:08 in my 200 freestyle. My 200 back is 2 seconds faster than that. So, I didn't really know how to take it. I've never swam that bad at a meet, and I had to sit down with Coach Troy, and, he reassured me that everything was going to be okay. Even Teresa Crippen had to give me some encouraging words and, just stay with it. But, I have complete faith in what Coach Troy's training is going to do for all of us at the end of the summer. And, we looked at Charlotte Ultra Swim as just sort of a training meet, and we're going to do the same thing for Santa Clara coming up next week. But, well, it'll definitely be a good summer, and I have a lot of confidence in what we're doing right now.
You went 2:07.8 at Pan Pacs last year in the 200 back and 4:34.0, I believe, the 400 IM.
Yeah.
Do you think those times are going to medal in Shanghai?
No. It's hard to say, but there's just so many, now that it's been like 2 years without the technical suits, I think people are now starting to figure out, what times are the fastest times that they can go, and they're getting more comfortable with racing without, the laser, the arena, the Jakin and stuff. So I think really this summer especially, competition is going to get a lot harder. And, obviously the goal is to medal in both events, hopefully. I've never medaled in both of it, well, except for Pan Pacs, but at a Worlds, I've never medaled in both. So it'll be interesting to see how fast it is. I mean, you have Katinka Hosu. I think Kirsty Coventry is still swimming. I mean, Missy Franklin in the 200 backstroke. You really can't count out anybody. And it'll definitely be one of the more interesting World Championships.
Now, as you're preparing for Worlds and you're getting your goals set, do you kind of think about what everybody else is doing? Do you think, well, I need, everybody else is going to go, let's say 4:32 in the 400 IM, and that's what I need to go? Or do you just kind of work on just getting your own personal goals?
I try to obviously, stay in touch with what everybody else is doing just so I have an idea of where I need to be. But Coach Troy sort of drills into our heads a lot that what they do, what everybody else does, we can't control that at all. And, I can't control what people are doing in Europe, swimming-wise, Australia. So I try to focus on what I can do better. I think during practice, is this going to make me better? Not really like, am I going to be able to beat somebody if I do this better? So it's more of like a self-improvement thing, but Coach Troy definitely believes in that. And, whatever everybody else is doing, they're doing it. You just have to believe in what you're doing.
Now, a lot of people have had differing opinions about how the World Championship team for the U.S. was selected. Do you think it was a good idea to do it last August, or would you have preferred to have a selection meet this year?
I definitely am not a fan of the way that they did that. But then again, I am very happy that there isn't trials this summer, because that would have just been more pressure for this summer. I'm sort of glad I got it done last summer, but last summer, now thinking back on it, it was probably the most stressful 3 weeks of my life between nationals, and then Pan Pacs. 2 trial meets in a row is mentally draining on everybody, and then put in racing and all the physical draining stuff. It was just very difficult, but I'm on the fence about it. I'm definitely happy that I'm on the team and that I don't have a trials this summer, but looking back on it, it was very, very tough.
Do you think if it had been this summer, things might be different, or do you think, everything would be just pretty much be the same, at least in your events, that you and Missy be doing the 200 back, and you and I believe it's Teresa, or I believe doing the 400 IM?
No, Caitlin Levers.
Caitlin, okay, yes, yeah. Thank you. Do you think all that would be the same? Do you think if it had, trials had been, say, this month, that, right, some things might be shaken up?
I think definitely. Every meet is completely different. I would like to hopefully say that I would be on the team for the 2 events, but honestly, you never know. I mean, there are so many people completely, changing their strokes and improving in all different aspects of racing and stuff that, maybe there are Americans out there right now that are better than me, but they didn't really have the chance to, beat the top 2 swimmers just because they haven't improved since last summer, or they just did improve for this summer. So, just because I made the meet this summer does not mean I'm going to be able to make the Olympics next summer. I'm not going to count anybody out. But it's definitely a relief that I have my ticket to China this summer, and, no pressure right now.
Well, I know you said you probably won't swim fast in Santa Clara, but we're going to look forward to seeing you there. It'll be great to watch you race again.
Thank you so much. Hopefully it'll go better than Charlotte.
All right, and again, best of luck to you in Shanghai, and we look forward to seeing you swim fast there.
Thank you.
All right,
you so much.
We'll talk to you down the road.
Bye.
All right, that's always the always wonderful Elizabeth Beisel joining us in the Finis Mater, and that's going to do it for our show today. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.